UCF will have a brand new head coach standing on their sidelines heading into the 2025 season. But it will be a familiar face in former coach Scott Frost, who led them to a 13-0 record in 2017 before leaving to take the Nebraska head coaching job. The move comes after former head coach Gus Malzahn chose to leave the Knights to become the offensive coordinator of Florida State. This is a story of the roller coaster that has been UCF football under Gus Malzahn. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know what you would grade the Scott Frost hire in the comment section below. There was a lot of excitement around the UCF football program when it was announced that Gus Malzahn was going to be the school's next head coach. The previous 3 coaches at UCF all had found major success. George O'Leary had led the Knights to 3 outright conference titles, a shared conference title in 2014, even pulling off a major upset over the 6th-ranked Baylor Bears 52-42, led by quarterback Blake Bortles, although the Knights entered the game as the biggest BCS Bowl underdog in history. Scott Frost followed O'Leary as head coach after he resigned following an 0-8 start to the 2015 season. Frost quickly turned the program around, going 6-7 in his first season as head coach to 13-0 in 2017. The year they famously claimed a national title, after they won the Peach Bowl and finished as the only undefeated team that season. Frost would then be named the head coach at his alma mater, Nebraska, being replaced by Missouri offensive coordinator Josh Heupel. Heupel kept the ball rolling, going 12-1 in his first season, where they famously woke up quarterback Joe Burrow in the Fiesta Bowl, a game they would lose. They would then finish 2019 10-3 for a 6-4 season in 2020. Heupel would then be hired to be Tennessee's head football coach, and Malzahn was one of the first phone calls athletic director Tony Mohogier to replace Heupel. Malzahn was 55 at the time and had just been fired by Auburn after 8 seasons, going 68-35 while head coach of the Tigers program. In his first season at Auburn, he took the Tigers to the BCS national title game in 2013, but 2 8-5 seasons and a 7-6 season meant he was consistently viewed to be on the hot seat, as Auburn as a school believed they should be competing for national titles like rival Alabama every year. In 2017, the Tigers finished the regular season 10-2, but lose the SEC title game as well as the Peach Bowl to the Scott Frost-led UCF Knights and would never win double-digit games again. In 2018, they went 8-5, while in 2019 they finished 9-4, but a 6-5 season in 2020 led to the firing of Malzahn, ending his time at Auburn. The biggest gripe about Malzahn was that he had only gone 14-12 in SEC play during his last 3 seasons as the Tigers head football coach. Malzahn was originally not planning on coaching in 2021. When UCF came calling, he would be really interested in the job. They were viewed as one of the top group of 5 programs in the nation, with fertile recruiting grounds and emphasized an up-tempo offense. Malzahn was known as a great offensive mind in college football, as he helped turn the Auburn offense around when he served as the school's offensive coordinator. He helped take them from one of the worst offenses in the nation to breaking school records and becoming one of the premier offenses in the SEC. He also was known for developing quarterback Cam Newton, helping the Tigers win the 2011 national title as well as recruiting at a high level. Following the 2011 season, Malzahn spent 1 year serving as Arkansas State's head coach, where they won the Sun Belt Conference and finished the year 9-3. While with the Red Wolves, Malzahn had worked with Mohogier, so there was a connection there already. Mohogier told ESPN, "I could feel the fire through the phone," when he called about the UCF opening. Malzahn felt this was a top 20 job in college football, explaining, "When this opportunity came, I was ready. I really believe they were getting the best Gus Malzahn of any time in my career. For the fact that I had 8 weeks to reflect, refresh, evaluate, and be better the next time you do it. You would take over a high-powered offense that averaged 568.1 yards per game behind rising quarterback star Dillon Gabriel, which was second best in the nation." The Malzahn era at UCF started off strong as they finished the 2021 season 9-4 and won the Gasparilla Bowl. They saw their offensive production drop from the 2020 season, averaging 402.9 yards per game, as star quarterback Dillon Gabriel would get hurt 3 games into the season against Louisville on the last play of the game. They would lose to the Cardinals, Navy, Cincinnati, and SMU, but beat Florida in the bowl game. Following the season, Gabriel would leave UCF and transfer to Oklahoma, was replaced by former Ole Miss quarterback transfer John Rice Plumlee, an athletic dual-sport player who was also known as a great baseball player. The offense would improve, averaging 469.6 yards per game, and the Knights would play for the American Conference title, traveling to Tulane, a game they would lose 45-28. They would lose their bowl game to Duke 30-13 to finish the year 9-5. Heading into the 2023 season, UCF would leave the American to join the Big 12, finally earning the prestigious title of being a Power 4 team. Growing pains were expected, but they returned Plumlee at quarterback and saw running back R.J. Harvey break out as a star rusher, rushing for 1,416 yards and 16 touchdowns. The Knights would lose their first 5 Big 12 games before beating both Cincinnati on the road and number 15 Oklahoma State at home. They would close out the season losing 2 of their last 3 games, including their bowl game to Georgia Tech 30-17. While their offense averaged 487 yards per game and 31.3 points per game, their defense struggled, giving up 391 yards per game and 25.8 points per game. Heading into the 2024 season, UCF returned Harvey at running back and added Arkansas transfer quarterback KJ Jefferson with a lot of starting experience. They were projected to finish tied for 7th in the Big 12 according to Phil Steele, as they returned 15 starters from the 2023 team. At the very least, they were expected to play for a bowl game this season. A 3-0 start to the season with wins over New Hampshire, Sam Houston, and TCU had some thinking UCF could be a Big 12 and college football playoff dark horse. I was actually thinking of making a video about it, but decided to wait until after the Colorado game, because I viewed that as a major test for the Knights, and boy am I glad I waited. Colorado would dismantle the Knights in Orlando on Fox 48-21, and UCF proceeded to go on a 5-game losing streak. Sitting at 3-5 heading into their game against Arizona, the hope for a bowl game was still alive, and they would win the game to move to 4-5. But a 3-game losing streak to close out the season against Arizona State, West Virginia, and Utah killed their dream as they would finish the year 4-8. It was their first time in 8 years UCF would not be playing for a bowl game. Following the West Virginia loss, there were rumors that Malzahn was thinking about retiring following the season, but the 59-year-old would refute those claims. Some wondered whether UCF would fire Malzahn following 2 back-to-back disappointing seasons, but instead Malzahn would choose to leave on his own accord and take the offensive coordinator position at Florida State. Had UCF fired Gus, they would have owed him $13.75 million, but instead he owes UCF $6 million. He finished with a 28-24 record as the Knights head coach. This past season saw a carousel of quarterbacks, a mid-season firing of defensive coordinator Ted Roof, Malzahn handing off play-calling duties to offense coordinator Tim Harris, and several close losses that could have flipped the season around. The man chosen to replace Malzahn was a friendly face of the UCF program, Scott Frost, who in 2 years at UCF turned them around from an 0-12 team in 2015 under O'Leary, his last season to a 13-0 team in 2017, and start their 8-year bowl streak in 2016. Frost left UCF to take the Nebraska head coaching job following the 2017 season, and would be a failure as he went 16-31, was fired 3 games into the 2022 season. He would not coach in 2023 and was serving as the coaching consultant for the Los Angeles Rams this year. He'll be surrounded by speed and talent in the state of Florida and the broader region, where he already knows the lay of the land from his first time at UCF. Frost seems to want to be at UCF for the long run, speaking on his decision to leave back in 2017, saying, "When you're climbing the ladder of success in life, sometimes they forget to tell you to stop when you're happy." Frost said during his introductory press conference,
"And the biggest thing for me is my dad wasn't doing well, and I got to spend time with him. My wife and I were lucky enough to have 2 daughters born at the next place I went. And, you know, you have good times and bad times everywhere. And this game, sometimes you get it done and sometimes you don't. We did the right things here and pushed the right buttons and got it done. And I think we can do that again. In fact, I know we can do that again if we do the right things. UCF, to me, is unique in the country because it's still in its infancy. It might be a toddler now. When I came before, maybe it was in its infancy. But most schools in the country, when you look at the landscape of college football, are kind of pegged where they are. And you know, generally speaking, that's where they're going to be. Always thought since the first time I came until now that the potential for growth and status in college football is bigger here than it is other places. And I'm excited to take the challenge to try to get it there.
He named former star quarterback Mackenzie Milton as his quarterback coach after serving as an offensive analyst at Tennessee in 2023. Milton's career was tragically ended after a gruesome knee injury, but he will return to Orlando under his former head coach. Ross found success at UCF during his first stint, and a lot will wonder whether he could do it again. I'm excited for the Scott Frost hiring and hope he is able to rebuild his image as a great coach after the disaster that was his Nebraska stint. What do you think? Can Scott Frost find success again at UCF? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.